Hello friends and family, people of Wadia. Welcome to my little informational video about my ongoing travels in India, currently in Auroville. I'm here in Solitude Farm, very nice place. I'll show you around a bit. They offer vegan lunch with fruits and vegetables from the garden mostly. Healthy, very tasty food. I've been here for a couple of weeks. I wanted to talk a little bit about Auroville, about my trips, about my experiences, and since I have some English speaking French, I'll just go with English. And let me talk about Auroville first a little bit. So Auroville is a little community, could be also considered a big community, formed 50 years ago, 1986, 68 other way, hippie times in eastern part of India, with the idea of having a community that does not belong to, or having land and a space and a place that does not belong to anyone in particular, that is for the sort of living research place for people to develop, to live, to create things, to live in a spiritual way, to live in a healthy way, to live, to have practices like yoga, meditation that help balancing one's body and mind, and have it as a sort of community structured environment. So Sri Aurobindo and the mother, La Mère, who is French, came here to Pondicherry, started to build this community in 1968, and they had a bunch of people following the vision, and it was all basically dry, bare, unfertile lands, because the British have come cut the whole forest for either using the wood or plantations like cashew or likewise, and a lot of it has never actually been used but cut. Then the wood maybe has been used, which left the place with lots of bare lands. And if you look at the map, just Google map of India and compare west coast to east coast, west coast is a lot more green, a lot more forest preserved. East coast is a more dry place. It's near the ocean, so swims are possible. And Auroville has been built from scratch. Trees have been planted, and the center of Auroville is the Matre Mandir, a golden structure, round structure, looks like a UFO a little bit. It's possible to go in there. And currently in Auroville there's roughly 3,000 people. Originally the plan was to have around 50,000 people. After 50 years, probably they did not grow as much or as quick as they expected, but they're still, the numbers are rising, even though the housing situation is not clear or as easy, because there's many young people that liked the idea of community the way it is here, but don't have money, and you're expected to be able to pay for your own housing, own building, which means you have to come with money to build your house, your place, and sustain here. Just some background information as well about Auroville. If you come here and you want to be part of the community, there is a newcomer process of at least 1 year where you spend here, and it's sort of like, from your side you check whether it works and you like it. From the Auroville side they have a look, does it suit, is it does it match? And people here don't work, they volunteer, or they do service, which is the foundation of the philosophy of activity. So basically anything that needs work or things to be done, or is run by volunteers or by people doing service. Roughly 5 hours a day you should be doing your service. The rest of it is free, up to you what you want to do. and you are sort of free to do what you want in terms of choosing what to do. So there's many administrational things that are here to do, building things, organizing things, many workshops, classes, things alike, and wherever you find your spots to help out, cultural activities, exhibitions, shows, theaters, music, dances, many things like that. Wherever you find your place, you're welcome to work and spend your time and energy. And I think as for now, the monthly income for an Aurovillian is all similar, is 18,000 rupees. So it's not much, but it's for your Aurovillians, it's enough to sustain themselves here. Many get a little more money by guest houses, by restaurants. There's different ways to earn money. Even though the original idea of Auroville is not to have money at all and have a community that functions by either gifting or exchanging and just get out of the capitalistic system. But so far it's not really working in the way of as they created it. There's only 2 places that accept only a card or a card which you back by money, so technically you're paying with money for everything. So this is not very different. But what's different is the general pace, how people work, how people do things, and the type of people you meet. It's many people that are interested in sort of community, spiritual practices, people that think outside the box. It's many interesting people, many interesting talks. It's more deeper conversations. It's more awareness in general, more awareness about life, about things, about food, good food here. Lots of vegan, lots of vegetarian. There's also meats that's also possible, but it's not like standard to have the Western society lifestyle. There is half of the people that are Indian and half roughly are Western, many French people, because Pondicherry, an old French colonial city, many French people here. Then there's, after the French, as usually most of the places, Germans as well, and then it spreads. There is Italians, some Russians, some Spanish, some South American, some North American, as well as more Eastern Asians, Central, Middle East people. It spreads somehow, so it's a good mix of everything. What can you do in Auroville? Well, there's plenty of activities you can do. You can just like be here as a guest and really live by the day and visit restaurants for good food and meet people for fun, for music, for dances, for workshops. It's also a good place to just like chill out, read a book, take yourself some notes, get out of regular everyday structured lifestyle, get new inputs, get aware of your habits, get aware of your patterns, thinking patterns, behavior patterns, throw out old shit that you don't need, take on new things that you want to need, practices, healthy things, meditation, yoga, qigong, tai chi, anything alike. You can visit many of the courses, multiple courses a day of different types of yoga, especially like you find vinyasa, ashtanga, iyengar, hatha, plenty different places, plenty different teachers, so you can really deepen your practice. If it is yoga, there's plenty of things with therapy, chakra healing, chakra energy work, anything like that. And there's some really good healers out here, and I've heard of many, only visited a few, but those things I liked. And you can get in touch with people quickly and just talk about many things that you otherwise maybe just like not be listened at as quickly. There's the whole range of everyday normal stuff: building, gardening, health, food, practices, spiritualism, aliens, architecture, concepts, communities. Many of these things are being talked over very easily, very quickly, very deep. There's lots of people that have deep knowledge about things like that, very specific knowledge, lots of things you can learn, and many people you can learn something regardless of the topic. So I find it very interesting to meet the people that go in and out of Auroville. I didn't get in contact so much with the Aurovillians themselves because they don't mingle with the tourists that much, or there's not that many contact points unless you know someone, you get in contact with someone. So I did meet some that teach, that are working at Matrumandir, but it's sort of, Auroville doesn't really want or like the tourists, but on the other hand, they also want them because it's a good thing to inform people about the idea and the possibilities that this life, this community, this approach is possible. And also it's sort of an income source. All the guest houses, restaurants, and workshop and anything alike obviously is something they want and like. So basically that's a good thing for them. But I get more in touch with the people that come and go, and sometimes there's people that tell you things about yourself, or about things that you feel like, oh, I've never heard that, or not sure where you got this information, but surprisingly precise. What you like, sometimes people know something about you that you even didn't know, because they're just like the way they look at you and see and read your energy and read into you as being yourself. They sort of can just like see more things than you perceive on a three-dimensional level. So these things are also happening, but nevertheless it's a normal earthly lifestyle with good food, healthy lifestyle in general, practices. People take it more easy, they take time, they are more chilled, more eye contact, more intense, and it's good times. So much to Auroville. The special thing, the Matrimondier, it's a whole round structure, ball, and it has petals like chambers around it, where you can go in for meditation before you go up into the Matrimondier for the big chamber. And all the petals have different names like generosity, goodness, peace, humility, perception, receptivity, and it's supposed to, if you want to focus on something like that, you go into that specific chamber. It's a round, nicely set chamber with a sort of a wall painting object in front of you that has some encodings, interesting to look at and just like feel the vibe. All the rooms are colored differently with a specific color and type of light. You go in there, you meditate, and then you can go into the big chamber, which is the whole architectural thing is pretty impressive. It's just like one huge ball from the outside, and it's sort of, it has a middle chamber in the inside where you can go. It's 12 meter times 20 to 25, and it's a big round chamber, all white stone, and in the middle there's a huge crystal ball about 1 meter in diameter, almost 1 meter, pure crystal, pure vision, very clear. And everyone is in silence, and you meditate or you sit just silently, and it's quite an interesting experience, quite powerful for meditators, and very nice setup. And actually what happens, the light is caught by a glass or crystal ball from the top, shining into the big chamber in the middle, into that crystal ball, which is almost 1 meter, shining through the floor into the lotus pond that's beyond the gold ball, the Matrimondier, where you can also go, which is a little sort of fountain, and it illuminates the whole line, sunlight coming in through the chamber, through the ball, to the lowest ball. Very interesting structure. Have it, So I will probably show you around different places like restaurants, tropical fruit gardens, farms, where they farm a lot of fruit veggies that are consumed in Auroville, though they're not self-sustaining. The farming is too small scale. It doesn't feed all of the people. There's many farms, but they're all sort of small. I will just like have a quick round here at Solitude Farm, have a look and make a little video. They're all quite similar. Very nice to look at, to visit, to see how they farm. Many farmers have a good understanding and knowledge of farming, specific knowledge about different things. So that's a good and interesting place for anything alike what you can find. Yeah, let me just show you some of the places that you see when you come here. I've explained a little bit about Auroville, about the philosophy, about how it functions. Yeah, and the community aspect, the reason why I came here, it is a big community, but it's not really working as a community in that sense that they have meetings and things they do together. It's sort of all suggestions, how to live, what you do. When there's decisions that have to come up about things, about new structures, new buildings, new whatsoever, I think they have meetings and they're not very efficient because everyone can speak, everyone can have an opinion, but how to make a decision in the end, because it's similar to any place, any country, there is different opinions, but you have to, some point you have to find a solution. And if you only look into wanting to have a solution when everyone's happy, this doesn't always work. So they sort of can only do slow process because it has to go through more phases and more talking to people. What are the things they want to change or implement or do? What are they about? Why are they good? Who wants to do this? Depends on the people who are doing it. I've heard there's more trust in Western people than in Tamil people, just by nature, because the Tamils sometimes don't have a backup plan if things they do don't work, and they might get in debt or mess up a place a little more than Western people. Just one detail. So the disparity, different reputations are present here as well, but they get along, Indians get along very well with the Western, so this is not a problem. Yeah, so much to that. I've not spoken so much about what I'm doing in Auroville, so I'm gonna do this a little bit. Right now I'm eating pomegranate, cashew nuts, while sunset. Beautiful scenery. Found that little sweet spot in the next to the road. So yeah, all right. What have I been doing in Auroville? Well, I checked out many places as I arrived and sort of got a feeling of the place itself, what there is to see, what there is to do. Quickly made some friends. You get in contact and talk. You can talk to people very easily. So that happened very quickly. Quite in the beginning already, meeting interesting people. As already mentioned in the Auroville general thing, there is a lot of people that know, some that are even sometimes experts in one certain field, so you always have someone to talk about something, and you know a person might know someone else that knows about something, so lots of interesting topics to talk about. Many people that have been doing different things in life and felt like, okay, I want to experience life in a different way than the way society functions. And let me just like flip through my nice berry book to check what I did. Had some took some notes. Yeah, I went to sound bath. That's really amazing. If you just like lie down, many people in one room, and for an hour they just played many different instruments, and if you just listen with closed eyes, it's a very different experience to listening music. It's very sort of even a therapy. The body, mind feels really good after sound bath. Great. Yeah. Let's see. Got some recommendation what to do. Sadhana Forest. It's one of Auroville's units. It's a volunteer-based or run tree planting project. So a little bit outside Auroville, but still connected to Auroville. They're planting trees, taking care of them, because the degraded soil is not very fertile. So a tree cannot just be planted and let be. It has to be watered for at least a year, probably more, and well taken care of. Some manure, some fertile soil. So Sadhana Forest, a really nice place. I might have a photo or two that I will add. It's been a model for Haiti, for Kenya, for other places as well, as volunteers who spend some time doing something that makes them feel I like to offer some of my time for a good cause. Live completely vegan, and they live in gift economy, which is especially Western people, some Indian people, mostly Western, and they all chip in for volunteering. So even as a volunteer in Auroville, you have to pay a monthly fee to be a volunteer. So that's how they fund partially their food, but also donations. So it's vegan, full board basically. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Whenever you're there, you're invited to eat along with them. So you can basically just go and have free meals. And if you feel like you help out working, which is 2 slots of 2.5 hours, which 5 hours total. Planting trees, taking care of the forests, maybe sometimes even mundane things, cooking, cleaning, building stuff. I try to fix some of the bikes there. The quality is not great, so I also, while repairing, damaged more. So yeah, did a course, self-evaluation through chakras, just like drawing a little bit with colors, how I feel. Interesting. Meeting some of the Aurovillians, they showed and talked about Auroville, about the findings. There's even some people that were here 50 years ago, so they're quite old, and they've been here since the beginning. Auroville has quite changed a bit. I went to Chennai for inner engineering, Sadhguru's like first starting course, where you learn one practice that's balancing you on a very basic level, but feels good. It's very ancient, known, old techniques, the breathing, awareness, sometimes chanting they use. So I've done that course, and ever since doing a daily practice of that. It takes about 20 minutes, half an hour with preparation. Went to Chennai to do it with Sadhguru himself. What else did I do? I went to yoga courses, different types of yoga, checking out different types, what suits best. I have done yoga courses previously already in Europe, but finding about the different types is adding in richness in terms of what styles, what asanas, what postures, what speed, and just having a general knowledge about them all to see what I want to implement into my routine. Even gotten a bit stretchier since, not very much, but as an ultimate frisbee player, it's not very easy to be stretchy, unless you're a girl, I guess. They don't celebrate religious stuff in general. It's not very religious. So I hung out with friends, met some more people. In general, very modern. It's like you don't go into the jungle and all but of a sudden you meet like indigenous people. It's not like that. Yeah. We went to the Matri Mandir, of course, which by now you probably have seen. Then went play some frisbee. Auroville has 2 ultimate frisbee teams. They play mixed. I played with Team Spinergy, and they have even athletes that compete with the national team sometimes. So the level is very different depending on the players. They have complete beginners and national athletes. And I had some fun with them. Went to planned some of the trainings and trained them. And I guess they also had some fun. and I also brought him some gear that was gifted by teammates. Yeah, tried out qigong. Went swimming to the beach. They have a nice beach with swimming opportunities, nice waves, body surfing. It's not like super holiday beach, but it still is a beach and it still is ocean, so nice. Went to visit more farms, and we'll show you more of the farms that the way they farm. They have a quite nicely structured way of putting lines, planting lines of different types, and sometimes combining them in beneficial ways, and it's just much more exotic than at home. Yeah, there's plenty good fruit, coconuts. Every once in a while I stop at the road and mosquitoes. Went to Tiruvannamalai. Went 10 days to Coimbatore to see to experience some of Isha Yoga Foundation's programs. Very interesting trip, was nice. Some more practices. We'll use some of them as well for my daily routine. Botanical gardens, botanical gardens, quite nice. Can also show you some of that stuff. Yeah, basically stuff like that. I lived into the day mostly. Morning, getting up, doing some practice, depending on the time when I went to bed. Lots of interesting talks, lots of new concepts with talking to people that have mostly own experiences in terms of multi-dimensional perception. So it's quite interesting. It's not only like, oh dude, I've read the book and it's about that, how about what you think about it. It's like real people having real experiences. So very interesting. If ever you get the opportunity, get on it. Went to Matrimondier more, like it's just a nice feeling. It's meditative, so it's very easy to get into meditative relaxation around the Matrimondier because people are sort of like aware and calm. And this is a big thing. Awareness, that's a key word. It's many things I've trained myself to do more with awareness and be more aware about it. And it's either one easy thing is food. Are you aware of the food you eat? Oh, hey, puppy, big dog, nice. This is impressive size beast. Yeah, but very peaceful. I've seen him before. Just all the stray dogs are very afraid of this guy, and this dog just keeps calm because he knows he's the boss. Everyone else just like too small for him. I've brought many books, haven't read them because there's too many things I've done, even though I've spent quite some time here. Yeah, let me see what else can I show you as experience of Auroville. There is buildings, some different buildings, and then there is different roads that pass forest, and they're very nice to just like cross and go under trees and in the trees, and mostly you're just by yourself on these little routes, and it's so nice to just cruise in nature. And only if you go out to the villages it gets busy, and you might have seen India yourself how busy and crowded it is, or you've seen it through TV. I might show you some videos right now about cows walking on the street, traffic, wild traffic. It's quite interesting. It's unorganized chaos, but it works, and it makes sense because there's so many motorbikes, so they can much quicker pass through with these sort of loose rules with a chaotic drive. But it's actually fun once you sort of like flow in. It's a lot of fun to drive because usually they don't drive very fast, so it's not very dangerous for accidents. Yeah, let me show you some more things. I don't really know what I have in my photo database, but I will just like probably go through some more photos and let you quickly have a look at it, look through it. Lots of nature things that I find nice: trees, plants, ants, termites, stuff like that. Yeah, that's it so far. have a nice sunset in 4.5 hours, because that's the time difference, because it makes sense of half an hour, you know, yeah. So actually now it's 4 hours and 20 minutes for you guys, most likely. Stay aware, stay healthy. See you maybe with some other statements. Yeah.